I'm sorry, you might hear my daughter crying in the background.
Well, I already gave my kids the warning, so.
Yeah. Yeah, she's 6 months old.
Aww.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let me just pull up to make sure I can see that we're live in the group as well. Alrighty, I think we're good to go. Hello. All right, guys, we hop on just a little bit early so that we can actually say hi to you guys before we start officially. So welcome all you busy, savvy healthcare professionals. You are in the right place. Let me know when you jump on. Just say hi. Let us know where you're joining from as well. Let us know where you're joining from. And then also, while you're doing that, also let us know what type of business you already have existing, and also what type of business you're also interested in getting started. So that's a two-part thing. We want to hear what type of business you currently have established, and secondly, what type of business you would like to pursue and before the end of 2020. So we're not talking about 2021, okay? So let us know where you're joining from. And we have special guest, Juan Morales, and we want you to show him some love.
Some hearts and some likes would be nice.
Of course. And let us know if you can hear us, please. So if you can hear us, put 1 or 2 in the comments so that we can know that you're hearing us loud and clear. Thank you. All right. We still have 3 more minutes, so we're just hanging out with you as you come on. So welcome, welcome one and all to Impact Growth Formula with Juan Morales, and we are going to be talking about how to be more business savvy, how you're going to automate your product, your services, your online course, whatever it is, and how we're going to all do it together. Okay, let us know where you're joining from. Juan, where are you joining from?
I'm in Houston.
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas, yep.
Awesome. How's the weather down there?
It's rainy and gloomy. We're like under a tropical storm watch. So it's been raining nonstop like for the past 2 days.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in Florida, and it's nice, and we had a few good days recently. They weren't as crazy. Thank God, because
Yeah.
as soon as the heat index climbed, then we're just have all issues relating to AC, everything else. But
Yeah. It's like a sauna out there.
exactly. But thankfully the last couple of days, I guess we are in fall, right? We're having fall officially.
Officially, yes.
So welcome, guys. Welcome. Let us know where you're joining from. And also let us know what type of business you currently have, or any type of business you intend to start soon. Okay, Juan, do you want to tell us? Let's just talk a little bit. So I know that both of us are actual. Once a nurse, always a nurse. Once an ER nurse, always a ER nurse, I guess. So, right?
Yep.
But tell us a little bit about your experience, especially working in the emergency room.
So yeah, I am an ER nurse for 14 years now. I started here in Houston in the medical center at Ben Taub. It's one of our trauma hospitals. And then after 2 years, I traveled. So I did traveling for about 5 years. And I took an assignment an hour and a half from Vegas in the middle of nowhere in this small little desert town. And when I drove there, I was like, there's no way I'm going to stay here for, extend my contract. And I met my wife there. She is a phlebotomist. So I ended up living there for 5 years. um, so I lived in Arizona for 5 years, and then it took me that long to convince her to move to Houston, and now we're in Houston. Um, I've gotten to do some pretty cool things in the ER world. I was part of the team that took TNCC to Latin America.
Wow.
So 2 years ago, we went down to Mexico with ENA president and did a rollout of TNCC in Spanish to train nurses in trauma care. In most other countries, ER nurse, like, that's not really a thing. You get rotated throughout the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And the nurses there wanted to stay in the ER, and they wanted to be trained. So we translated all the TNCC material and then rolled it out in Mexico. And that program continues to grow. We have the instructors out there teaching in Spanish now. So that was a really cool experience that I got to do a couple years ago. And other than that, I've been on my entrepreneurial journey for the past 8 years now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I guess we started similar time. I graduated nursing in 2005. So we're at 15.
Yeah.
15 years this year. So
I
I'm
can't-
officially old. Once
Yeah.
you hit 10 years, you're like, okay, I'm officially old. But
We're not.
I had the privilege of working in Canada, and
Oh,
it's rural British Columbus, like way past Vancouver. Like, it's, if you had to drive, it would be about 7 hours to where we were. Like,
wow.
it was so rural. When it snowed, it stayed there like from October all the way until the following year, March or May, like super cold. But it was exciting because you had full independence to practice without thinking about lawsuit or litigations or anything like that. And you had to be cross-trained to pretty much work at different areas in the hospital. So we had to do rotation between ICU and emergency room.
Okay.
So that was probably one of my my best memories from working as a nurse. So I totally get it, when you find yourself in a certain situation and you're like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
But nursing is unique, and there are plenty opportunities out there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I never thought, I think as a nurse, you go through phases, and the term that always gets used is burnout.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, I know there's always the staffing and the workload, but sometimes it's that you get comfortable in a certain position and everything kind of becomes routine. Like, there's not much that excites you as much anymore. So that kind of led me to, well, maybe I should teach. So I started teaching like all the AHA courses and TNCC. And then I did that. And after a while, I was like, okay, like, what else is there, right? And then eventually I led down the path of my first company. And in any business, right, that one's hard to get. It's just so much, right? Like, to learn and to master that, it's hard to put a ceiling on it. So I've been just happy, finding ways to grow and get better, and because it's necessary, and especially in today's in the atmosphere that we live in, where you have to constantly be improving and evolving, which we saw recently, right, with this pandemic. So I never thought I would have started a business when I started nursing school, right, or traveled and taught in Spanish, and or be on this live here tonight with you.
Well, we're definitely happy that you're on, because we have Tamara joining from Texas. Hi, Sonia joining from North Carolina. Awesome. So just let us know where you're joining from. Also, let us know what type of business you're currently pursuing, or if you have that business already in place. We are live tonight with Juan Morales. He's a registered nurse, ER background, and serial entrepreneur as well. Okay, and we're going to be talking about a product that he has been working on and improving, especially for healthcare professionals, right? Especially for healthcare professionals, because of course, most of us, we transition into business that are related to our previous experiences in nursing. So whether it's home health, home care, whether it's some form of coaching, whether it's writing a course, whatever it is, we usually pull from our previous experiences, our knowledge, and our skills to build our programs. But where a lot of us struggle the most, and this is from persons that I've spoken with before, and if you're joining now, tell us in business, what is the area that you struggle the most? What area you struggle? And a lot of persons just like, I just hate sales, I hate marketing, I don't like to do that. So let us know what's your greatest struggles in your business today. So welcome again, Juan, officially, and he's going to share a little bit with us about the impact growth formula. So just break it down for us because it sounds good. Impact growth formula, all those are just pieces. So put it together and let us know what that is all about.
So I think the main idea is that we all want to have an impact in our communities, and that's kind of a common theme within healthcare entrepreneurs is that we were once working in a hospital, and now we're starting our own businesses. And the one of the biggest things, like you said, is that we have great ideas, we're good at what we do, we have a great service or product, but we just don't know how to make more people aware of that, and then actually convert somebody that's online, whether it's social media or on Google, actually convert them into a paying customer. And that has been my focus for the past 6 years, is diving deep and understanding what that customer journey is, and then putting a system in place so that you can keep treating your patients, growing your business, and meanwhile you have this machine in the background that is taking people offline and bringing them into your sales funnel, and then so that they convert into a customer. One of the biggest problems is that business is like 2 marathons that you're running simultaneously at the same time. There's the actual delivery of your product or service. That's your first marathon, paying payroll and keeping your lights on and treating your patients. It's marathon. And then there's a second marathon that's running simultaneously. That is your marketing, right? What your outreach and getting people in. And a lot of businesses, what we do, and I've done this before with my first company, is that we have a push in marketing, kind of like a bolus, right? We give that epi bolus, and we all know that that's not enough, right? We might get a heartbeat, we might get the heart rate to rise, but we know that, hey, like I need to have something that's continuous, right? So that's what a lot of us do with our businesses is we don't have customers, so then we think, oh, I need to do marketing. We go do the marketing, we get busy, we stop doing marketing, and then you create these waves of these yo-yos in revenue. So my focus was to create a formula, a system that is constantly running, that lets that healthcare provider, that healthcare entrepreneur keep providing that great service while this system in the background is giving them new customers or new patients.
Exactly. And that I think is important. And I can actually testify to that because, when I started my coaching program, I was running on a 30 days enrollment. So like every time the first of the month comes around and I have the new set of clients or customers, then I would focus on guiding them through the process. And then I forgot, that I need to continue marketing. And then the week before the next session or the beginning of the following month, then that's the time I pick up marketing again. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, still doing that roller coaster effect, because you're when you're starting business, for the most part, a lot of persons cannot afford to hire an independent team to do
Yeah.
their marketing. So you're wearing many hats, right? You're trying to do your market, you're the CEO, you're trying to manage everything while still paying your bills. So, at which point of starting a business would you suggest utilizing your tool?
So there's different phases. So our tool does have a website that comes with our packages. So we could get that business, right when they know exactly what they're going to offer, what their service is, and they need a website. It has the website. It has everything you need to market. So that was another big problem that I set out to solve was, if you're going to market correctly, right? If you're going to go put your money towards a campaign, whatever it is, radio, direct mail, whatever, a billboard, whatever that is, we have to get the most out of that, right? Because that's our hard-earned money, and we need to see an ROI on it, right? I don't have $1,000 laying around that I can just throw away. So we have people that sign up when they're ready to build their website, and we go ahead and build everything, all their sales funnels. We built their appointment setters, all the automation and reminder that goes behind it, all the email and text message campaigns for outreach, and we get them set up from day one. Or I would say 90% of the people we work with have an existing service or product, and they're having a plateau in their revenue, and they're just looking for ways to grow, and they can't quite afford to pay a marketing agency that's going to charge anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month, and that money goes to the agency. That's not even ad money, right? Like that's going to pay for them to set this all up for you. So what I like to do is provide this software that has everything you could possibly need at an affordable price. And then I show that business owner how to do their own marketing, because Facebook ads, Google ads, all of that it's easy. It's not rocket science. It's having the system in place to take advantage of that traffic you generate. If you don't have that system in place, if you're running traffic to your website, which is a big mistake, you're not going to get the most out of your marketing dollars. So we do work with people that are at that point where they're ready to build their website, or those that are in business and have seen a plateau.
Okay, they're just looking to scale. So let's go to the chat for a little bit. So Tamara says marketing, and her issue is how to research to see the value and who will actually buy in, which goes right back to the human factor, right? There is absolutely no way you're going to start market or reach your ideal client if you don't know who they are. So one thing that is very important is to be able to identify your audience. And then once you identify them, you also want them to react, to respond, to click on whatever it is that you're providing or promoting in your ads. So you want to do that. So in order to get them to respond, it must be relevant. So what's one thing, and Tamara, I'm gonna go back to your thing too. So if you share your business, we can kind of get a little bit more specific to your business as well. So you're starting a hemodialysis school for RNs and dialysis techs. So you want to know how to research to see who will buy in. So you're looking to target persons who have some interest in hemodialysis. You're going to find things that are relevant to them. So it could be, statistics or marketing relating to the number of dialysis, or targeting dialysis center, or targeting CNA schools. So you have to think about the group or the audience that you're trying to reach to see. And a lot of times, you'll get stories that someone who is relative, was on dialysis, then now they have an interest to pursue some occupation in dialysis. So again, you have to be able to identify your audience. Sometimes it's not going to be overnight. It's going to take a series of trial and error, getting to know what moves them. That way you can actually have them drip feed them into your funnel. So Juan, what's the first thing you would suggest someone do to actually start their process?
So, like you said, right, identify that your avatar, right? Who's your ideal customer? And that sounds pretty vague, like, okay, I hear that a lot. So the way I like to do it is usually your customer avatar it looks almost like you, right? That's kind of one of the things I've noticed is that like in your example of the hemodialysis, like a lot of times it's people that have family that have gone through this, right? And they have a personal relationship that they can relate to that, or they have a background in it. In this, what I like to do is before I put money into marketing is I like to go and not survey, but interview and ask questions directly to who I want to be my future customer. So in this situation, the best way would be through LinkedIn, find hemodialysis nurses and start asking them like, hey, this is what I want to do. What got you interested into hemodialysis, right? Truly identify why they started it. And then that becomes your copywriting. That becomes the message in your ad, because people a lot of times don't care what you do. They care why you do it, right? They want to be able to connect. They want to know that you care and that you're not just trying to sell them something. So, a lot of us, we kind of thrive off storytelling, right? That's how history and everything has been passed along, right? Just storytelling. And it used to be that I had to be in front of you to do that. But now we have these tools that you can expand your reach internationally, right? Or globally. But the danger is when you're not sure who that ideal customer is, when you don't know what their problems are or why your services would help them. And then you start running ads, kind of just like a shotgun approach where you're just hoping somebody responds. So I would start directly with reaching out to that ideal customer. Or in this case, it could be a nurse that already is a dialysis nurse, and interview them and ask them, like, how was your school experience? What did you not like, right? And then those becomes the problem you're solving, right? All the inadequacies of hemodialysis schools, and that becomes your marketing angle, so that you're offering a solution that people want. And if people want and have a pain point that they're trying to solve, then they'll pay money for it, right?
Exactly. So if you don't mind, Juan, could you walk us through the steps, or just the steps of your impact growth formula? What are the different aspects that you bring together? Because I know it definitely saves a lot of time and money to get everything under one umbrella, especially if you are, doing everything all on your own.
Yeah. So our platform combines 6 different softwares that you need to grow your business. The impact growth formula starts with driving traffic, right? And there can be organic methods to do that, right? You're posting videos, you're creating posts online, you're running ads, you're doing direct mail. All of that is geared to take somebody onto your website, or preferably a sales funnel. So what I do is when I work with somebody, we identify what their message is, what are these pain points that we need to talk about anytime you do a video or any type of ad. And then every piece of content that you do, whether it's just going live or whatever that is, we want to give a call to action at the end of that video. So then we have a link that we set up for that business owner. And we say, okay, anytime you're talking to, let's say, business owners, you're trying to get new business owners, use this link, right? How your service helps them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in learning more, click on the link below. It's that easy. When we get them onto the sales funnel, the point of the sales funnel is to take that person to book a call to talk to you. Like, that's the only function. The difference between driving them to a website and a sales funnel is that on average, a website will convert at about 3 to 5%, where a sales funnel converts at about 20 to 30%. So just using a sales funnel is going to increase your impact rate, your conversion rate, right? The sales funnel, we need to have a Facebook pixel on it. And what the Facebook pixel is, it's a piece of code that can go on your website. It can go on your sales funnel, and it tracks who visits your website so that then you can retarget them, right? You can show back up in their feeds and remind them like, hey, I'm here. Remember, you were interested. You visited my website. You looked around, you saw my about me and my services, but then your kid started crying and you forgot to call me, or life happens, right? We're busy. And you forgot that I'm here, but they were interested because they went to my website or my sales funnel.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, we trigger our retargeting campaigns. But preferably they opt in to our sales funnel. And that's one of the biggest kind of common things I see is that as entrepreneurs, we're not building our list. We're not nurturing our list, which is important because you shouldn't keep paying to talk to somebody over and over again, right? Once we can get their contact information, then we can email them, we can text message them directly without having to pay for that again, right? We don't want to run an ad to the same person again if we don't need to. So the goal of the sales funnel is to get them to book a time to talk with that service entrepreneur. And then on the back end, the system we put in place is if they opt in, but they don't book a time to talk to you, it'll trigger off reminders. So it'll be an email and a text message that says, hey, I noticed you didn't book a time to talk with me. Here's the link, and it takes them back to that booking page. Meanwhile, all you did was post a video online about your service. On the back end, all these autoresponders are working to get them to book that time to talk with the entrepreneur. Once they book the time, they go on your calendar, they book their time. I get a notification saying, hey, Juan wants to talk to you Thursday, 6 p.m. And then you approve it or reschedule it for a time that works better. Mm-hmm. And then after they book, they get the reminders, right? How many times have you had an appointment scheduled with somebody and they forget, right? Or something happens. So we have everything automated to remind them that, hey, you have a call tomorrow at 6 p.m. So all of that, typically what happens is you have no way of communicating with them unless they call you, right? Which is how most websites are set up where, we're hoping they call us and click through, which typically isn't gonna happen. It is, but not as much as giving them the option to book their own time. And in the background, right, we're automating that follow-up so that the only thing you're worried about as an entrepreneur is producing some content to drive traffic and then approving that appointment and then getting on the phone and talking to them and selling your service. And that's our biggest part. The part I'm focused on is how do we take these people online and get them on a phone call with you. And then I also teach the business owner how to run their own Facebook ad and Google ads whenever they're ready and they have the ad budget for that. And
so pretty much what I'm getting is that all of these months that I was struggling, I could have reached out to you and you would have got me all sorted out. Like you would have started this entire thing out for me, right?
Yeah, it's all ready to go. When I activate somebody's account, it's all set up. We set it up so it, the only thing we do is add the contact, like, so your website, email, name, and we have all the templates built out. We have our outreach campaigns also. So like right now, there's a big focus on, I'm working with a lot of direct primary care providers. And right now is a good time to get business owners to sign up for their program because renewals are coming up for healthcare insurance. So we're doing cold email, and it's called ringless voicemail. Are you familiar with that?
Yep.
Yeah. So right now, I'll give you an example. I have a doctor I'm working with in San Antonio. We put a list of 1,000 business owners around him within a 10-mile radius, and we're sending out a series of 5 emails along with ringless voicemails that are going out to get those business owners to book a call to talk with this doctor so that he can sign them up for his clinic. And we pull the list, and he's able to reach 1,000 business owners with $100.
Wow.
My goal is to keep people using the platform, right? So a lot of the services we only charge, like if we go pull a list for a business, I'm only charging them what I had to pay to pull the list. I'm not upselling them on that list because I just want to give them the tools so that they can grow and that they can keep using our system.
Okay. So I'm sure what we want to do, from this point, because a lot of what you're saying, we, as business owners, especially healthcare professionals who are getting started, some of it may seem foreign for us, right? So if we decide to move forward, which I have signed up because I want to better automate, because I have different things now. I have different portions working now, but I would love to automate everything to actually, flow so I can really spend more time doing other things. But would you be, say someone sign up for your platform, right? I hear you're saying that you would be there to walk them through the processes in terms of getting set up, getting started, and actually providing guidance throughout the process. Would you be available for probably a Zoom demonstration where you're walking us through the software and how it works, and probably, just something, and everybody can get a 2 weeks trial, you're saying as well, right?
Yeah. So we offer a 2-week trial, and I become that business owner's almost partner. I like all of us, we started our whatever we're in because we want people to grow, or it's a problem we're solving. And the way I see it is, if I can help more nurse practitioners, nurses, doctors grow their practice, these are people that if I'm successful, I'm looking for ways to make my community better, right? And that's what it really takes. And especially now with all these corporations, right, coming in, and I'm trying to, if at the end of the day, we're small business owners, and it's important for us to be strong because we're the ones that are going to help out in our community the most, right? So yeah, that's one of the kind of hidden benefits, is that not only do you get the tools and we set them up for you, but then I show you how to use them. My goal is for that business to never have to hire a marketing agency and pay $2,000 or $3,000 a month, because as soon as that contract ends, they take all the assets they created for you, right? And you're left with nothing again. And then you're like I have nothing to show. And a lot of this is it's a long-term game, right? Like marketing isn't like, oh, let me put $100 in and see if it works. That's like going to the gym one day and saying, oh, I'm not in shape, so this stuff doesn't work. It's a marathon, right? You have to continuously feed the pipe. And I show them how to do it. We give them the tools to do it. And then we have group sessions where I can say, hey, Meredith, there's this other guy in San Antonio that's doing the same thing you are. And this is what he's doing that works. You should try it. And then we show you how to do it. So you get this network effect of learning, kind of like when you think of nursing clinicals. After you do clinicals, everybody sits around the table and we share our experience. And that helps us learn from each other. And it helps in, make it a better hospital experience because we get to learn from what our, classmates went through it. So that's kind of what I'm trying to create as a community, so that we can all learn from each other and help each other grow.
Exactly. So Rashawn is asking you to drop the link to the platform as well, and he's going to also share his contact information as well. So all of that will be available in the comments as well. So there's a difference. Recently I had some marketing work to do, and I reached out to this guy who does that type of work, and it was just so frustrating trying to communicate healthcare to someone who has no knowledge about healthcare. It's like I'm saying it needs to speak to this population. We're reaching the seniors, we're reaching this. It needs to be health focused, and it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Bottom line. So like whenever I love the fact that you also have the HIPAA compliance aspect that you're looking at too, because that's key, especially for nurse practitioners or who are starting their business.
Yeah, it's funny, for years, I did not want to do healthcare marketing. Like, I avoided it until I finally found the tools to do it compliantly. And most marketers, and I'm not trying to bash anybody, but they'll just, they don't follow the guidelines. And as a nurse, we get drilled with HIPAA, right? And it's like, I would not take the risk on somebody's business by doing marketing that's not compliant. So that was, if I was going to do healthcare marketing, it would have to be compliant. And now we have the system to do it, which is incredible, because I get to now bring my experience and my passion, and I understand that world, right? I did home healthcare for a while just because I wanted to understand why all these little people were falling and coming to my ER with a broken hip. I went to go do home health because of that, just so I could figure that out. And so I get it, and I understand why nurses start their own business, because, I know what it's like to work in the hospitals, and it's good, it's secure, but at some point you want more, or you want to be able to expand your impact beyond the bedside. So exactly. I totally get it. So it does help to have somebody with a background in healthcare that also is helping guide you in your marketing.
Absolutely. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. So, I can appreciate it as a business owner who really struggled. I think I have an eye for certain things. Like, I know what it should look like, or who I'm speaking to, or all of that, but just putting all the pieces together has always been the challenge. So this would definitely, this is definitely an area of interest for even myself. And I'm sure there are lots of ladies that I've worked with before in the past, and they're aspiring. We're all aspiring business owners. We want to make something better. We want to do more. So this, I think, is one of the tools to allow us to do that. And yes, Lady Fire Jones says we want to expand our impact, and we want to get respected. So many times we don't get recognized. Not that we do nursing to be recognized, but at least if you do something good, you want to be rewarded for that. So I think it's just human nature for that.
Yeah, it's just, my goal has been, like, I want you to find what you're good at, and I want to help support you in that journey of taking you from idea to to actual creating, from idea to actual creation, and then to growth, which is the idea to creation. A lot of us do that, but the growth part, that's the struggle. That's why a lot of us, that's where we have the most troubles. We don't know how to grow this. We don't know how to get the word out. And I think it's a disservice for us not to be successful, because that means less people have the services they need, right? They don't have the coverage they need. They don't have the benefits they need, right? Because they're not aware of it. And who else better than us nurses or healthcare providers that are already trusted, that put safety and our patients and our community first to help guide them through that process. And what I want to do is be able to help that healthcare entrepreneur through that journey and make it easier and increase their odds of success.
Amazing. Exactly. And that's what we want. That's what we're looking for. So how can we contact you? And if anyone, we're going to wrap up in 5 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment area as well. And if you're watching the replay, let us know as well. And even after the live broadcast, if you have questions, put them in. We'll both be able to answer as needed. Okay, so how can we contact you if needed?
Yeah, so you can message me on Facebook, or you can go to impactgrowth.io. That's the website where you can see a little bit more of what we offer. Or my email is info@impactgrowthconsultants.com. The easiest is just message me on Facebook. That works really good and fast, and and I'm easy to find. But yeah, if you have any questions, and we'll take a look at your website, and a lot of times I will say like, hey, like, let's make these changes, and that'll help you if maybe you're not ready to sign up yet. But I'm always here as a resource, and I took on marketing, like most of us do in healthcare. Is like, I want to be the best nurse, right? I want to know my stuff, but also have the empathy as I'm delivering my care. And it's the same approach I take to marketing. Is like, hey, I've taken years to really learn this stuff, and I've helped a lot of companies in a done-for-you service. And the problem with that was that I couldn't help the people that were still, that still couldn't quite afford me, because we were charging a couple of $1,000 a month. So now I created this where we can expand who we can help and get them to that point, where maybe they want to hire somebody or not, but they would be able to afford to do that in the future.
Exactly. And Lady Fire asks, do you work in other business outside of healthcare?
So the old me would have said yes, of trying to be a generalist, and trying to help anybody that came to me. But I've made it a point now to specialize in healthcare, and I'm going to have to stick with that. And it's hard because a lot of opportunities come up, but right now we're completely focused on healthcare.
Okay. All right, good. But probably if Lady Fire, if you specify what business is outside of healthcare, then sometimes, they can be so closely linked that the same principles that you apply to your healthcare business would be, similar to what you'll apply to your non-healthcare related business.
Yeah, there could be some something there that we could work with.
Exactly. Because it's one of those things. Once you start, you get a full understanding of the process.
Yeah.
Then it's something that you build on and will be easier over time. So whether it's a product that you have, or a service, or an online course, or whatever it is, then it can be applicable to your program.
Yeah, I'll give you prior to niching down, I was doing festivals, I was doing concerts and conferences, and plastic surgeons, they're healthcare, but I was more in the aesthetic space just because they have the high ticket, right? So they could pay. But yeah, I was doing a little bit of everything, and what it causes that, it's kind of like you become a generalist, and if you're a specialist, then you want to be memorable, like you want to be known for something, and I kind of made it a point to stick to healthcare, so I would be known as, hey, Juan is the healthcare marketing guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely, no problem with that. Actually, it's just like specializing in an area. You become the expert in that area. You become the go-to person. So, absolutely acceptable. So, no apologies needed for that. Alrighty, so I think we're at the end. For the most part, I don't see any more questions. Any final thoughts or words, Juan?
Um, I would just, a big takeaway is try to focus in on exactly who you're trying to help, and tell that story. There's always a deeper reason of why you're doing what you do. I know, like, if I'm selling insurance, like, I know I have friends that they went into that because they once had, their mom or dad or somebody that went through a problem, and, that's why they were kind of drawn to that. There's always a reason why we do something or why we're interested. I would take the time to figure out why, your big why of why you're doing something, and then use that as your marketing angle. Use that as your messaging, because people, like I said earlier, people don't, a lot of times they just want to know why you do things, and that resonates and makes you stand out in the market, so that when I have to decide between two people, I'm going to go with Meredith because I feel like I can connect with her, and that she understands what I'm going through. And that's been my angle of marketing, is really getting that out of people. It's like, hey, like, I know you do this, but I want to know why, and not just because I want to help people. Like, I want to go a little deeper and figure that out. So then that becomes our story and part of our marketing efforts. So if anything, I would just try to sit down and figure that out, and then find ways to tell stories around that. And then, don't be shy to promote yourself. Don't be shy to feel bad for being loud and getting the word out, right? It's important that you help people, and that people know what you do.
Yep, you can say that again,
Yeah.
especially for some people in who are listening, and they know who I'm talking. So I'm just gonna leave it there. You know what? I've gone through it myself. When I started, when I transitioned from the bedside, because I was over it. I was over the hospital politics. I was over the long hours. I was always, just trying to think about something, to find something to escape it. So, I've been there. And it's a challenge, and it's a struggle, and you wonder if you have imposter syndrome, or am I really legit, am I good enough, and you question everything. And even just to promote yourself, to say, I am the go-to for this, or I'm the go-to person for that, it takes some level of confidence and some level of vulnerability, and you have to like do it over and over and over again until it becomes easier. It's still not easy for me, but working in smaller groups, I'm more comfortable doing that. But I've learned that I have to move from that space in order to scale and in order to grow. So it's a learning process for all of us. And I'm glad that we have this group, because this is a safe place for us to learn and grow as well.
Yeah. Let's support each other. There's enough for all of us. There's no such thing as scarcity, and if we can help each other out, if anything, we can at some point, be that person that somebody else needs, so that maybe one day when you need it, somebody will do that for you. And just just get out of your head and just do it, right? Like, just go for it. Because at the end of it, I wouldn't want to look back 20 years later and think to myself, like, wow, I wish I would have done this or that, right? Like, I would rather go for it and then figure it out as I go.
Exactly. So stop procrastinating and stop being a perfectionist. If you have something in the pipeline, go for it. If you need help, you need support, you need guidance, reach out, ask for help. That's the number one thing when you're starting a business. Don't be afraid to ask for help, ask for support, because I mean, yes, there are a lot of persons who are, you know, they're bundling whatever information they have, which only makes sense because, you know, for the last couple of years I was doing a lot of free consults, and trust me, if I could stay on the phone for the entire day just giving away the information, and it was really taking away so much time, valuable time from me moving my business forward. So you're not going to get everything free. You have to invest something as well. So be prepared to make whatever investment to start and grow your business.
Yeah, it's I always, I always think of it as, how do I want my customers to treat me? So I don't want customers that are going to come to me and just want free stuff and never buy and just waste my time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm considering a product or service, I'm not trying to hustle them down or get a discount, because I don't want people to do that to me. So I kind of see it as a way of kind of attracting those ideal customers, is by treating them the way you want to be treated. And that also translates in the business world as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it was a pleasure chatting with you today. And we should do this, I guess, you know, we'll do it again and just probably choose one item under marketing that, you know, persons struggle with and just talk about it. You know, I know some people, they wonder about SEO marketing and leads generation and links on their website and backlink. And, you know, I've actually even done a course recently trying to figure this thing out. So again, it's good to have healthcare professionals who can actually share this information with us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said earlier, right? You could go figure this out on your own, or you could ask for help. I've already taken every single course humanly made. I've already made all the mistakes. I've lost a lot of money, and I learned. And you can benefit from my mistakes and everything I've learned. And I can kind of streamline that process of, okay, no, don't do that. I did that. Trust me.
It doesn't work.
And just
Exactly.
accelerate your growth by, learning from others.
You see me trying to get rid of these kids.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's being real. All right.
Hi.
They're a mess.
It's awesome.
Well, at least we didn't hear the baby crying for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? We're real, and that's something, you know, we're real. We're trying to juggle multiple things. We're parents. We're still, you know, keep doing everything. So it shows that it is hard, it is challenging, but it can be done.
Yeah.
So for those who are waiting on the perfect moment, it may not happen anytime soon. So you just have to go for it. Go for it. Start. Just get started. Set your deadline. Set your timeline. Connect with persons who can get you there and get started.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our impact growth formula for tonight. Get started. If you don't remember anything else,
Right.
get started or scale, whichever one.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so remember to drop your information so that they can know where to reach you. And yeah, and we'll place the link as well if anyone would like to enroll. And we'll discuss, you know, a future date sooner rather than later, to do like a Zoom walkthrough where they can actually see all the different aspects of the software.
Yeah, I can. We could do like a whiteboard session and just show exactly. It's hard. It's always nice to see something.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think in terms of algorithms, like ACLS, right? Like
Exactly.
you're seeing like, if this, then do that, or yes or no decision point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I like to think of marketing, is how do we explain this in a visual format so that it makes sense and you don't forget it.
Exactly. Yes, so that's what we're going to do sooner rather than later. Okay? So
Sounds
we'll just break it down, simple words, simple language, no fancy anything.
nope.
And then we're going to help you to grow your business.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Who says, Tamara says, I am naive to business, I overthink it. Yep, we all do sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Sonia's looking forward to that, to step 2. So we'll definitely make it happen, okay, guys? So yeah, let us know if this was useful. And as usual, I ask you to, think about things that are important to you, especially in this group, and we'll make it happen. Okay, we have to support each other. That's the only way we're going to grow. That's the only way we're going to really make a difference. All right, so I think we're at the end. Again, thank you so much for joining and participating. If you're watching the replay, feel free to drop your questions just the same. And thank you, Mr. Nurse Morales, for sharing this time with us as well.
Yes, of course. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk today, and I'm hoping we'll have more sessions like this so that we can keep expanding on this.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.